Welcome to Midnight Porch.
Sup, everybody.
With your host, PapaBear.
My name is PapaBear. Welcome to Midnight Porch. I have a story to tell because our last podcast was a mess. I do apologize for it being everywhere. It was crazy. I got like super drunk. Moving forward, I'm not going to do that. I learned my lesson. I'm going to take it easy tonight. We're drinking wine. We each bought our own bottle, and it's a nice change of pace. Because last time, crazy. So, before we get started, I wanted to tell you what happened right after the podcast. So me and her had to go pee. So we went down to the bathroom. We got out. I was gone. If you know me, I get in my feelings. So I was in my feelings. I was like, thank you so much for being on the podcast. You're awesome. And blah, blah, blah. Like, I was like, I don't know, for some reason, kissing her butt. So I walked her to her car, but I was like, fuck, we gotta chill for a bit. Cause I'm so gone. And these lights pull up right in the side of us. They're bright as hell, and right away I'm like, fuck, it's the cops. They know I'm drunk. And I was like, hey, the cops are here. The cops are here. And then the guy comes out and he was like, can you please step to the vehicle? I was like, yes, officer. He's like, what are you doing out here? It's past the curfew. The curfew is at 10. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I was gone. So I was like, I have to give the best acting performance I could. And so I told him we're filming a podcast. And right away, the other officer points at her. He's like, who's that? And I was like, oh. In my head, I'm like, fuck, say it's your girlfriend. So I was like, that's my girlfriend. And then Asia right away, hell the fuck I ain't. I was like, oh my God. She and
she was being kidnapped.
Yeah. And then the cop was like, well, she said she's not with you. I was like, she's mean. And I was like, she's mean. She plays like that kind of deal. And so the other cop was like, have you been drinking? I can smell it on you. I was like, no, we're just, the podcast. And he was like, what is the podcast about? And I was like, oh, love. As you can see. And fortunately we got away with it. I didn't know. He said to get an Uber. I was trying to find an Uber on my phone. I couldn't see. It was like blurry. And I found Uber, and I found an address, found out it was to work. But I was just putting whatever because I forgot what the address to this was. So I showed the cop like, it's going to take 20 minutes. And he's like, oh, we can't wait that long. We wrote down your plates. Don't leave in your cars. Take the Uber, and left. Mm-hmm. And then Asia was like, okay. You get out of your car, and I get out of my car, and I'm going to go. I was like, I don't want to. We're drunk. So I got home safe. They got mad at me. Well, they didn't get mad at me here, but I took the keys to the restroom. So they had to come for it. Sorry. So lesson learned. Don't get fucked up on a podcast. So we have our next guest, Celeste. I've known her for a few years. we have kind of I guess similarities as far as it comes to handling depression, handling anxiety. We have I guess you can say how can I say? We see the world as maybe a movie.
Yes.
Like I want to get married. I want to have this fairy tale stuff, and you're the same way. But we also, know the reality. There's pain, there's anxiety, there's depression, and so the reason I brought her on, so we can have a real good, healthy discussion. I for the years I've known her, we would always talk, and she would always, how can I say, she knows what I've been through, and I know what she's been through, and I always feel good after talking to her. So I wanted to bring her on, and maybe hopefully bring some light, or bring some encouraging vibes to people that have been, through the ringer,
Thank you for having me.
No, you're welcome. No, it's cool to have you on. I know I told you a while back, like maybe 2 years ago or a year ago, that I wanted to start a podcast.
Yeah, and I was like, you should totally do it.
Yeah, and now we're here.
Honestly, I got into podcasts because of you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I had never listened to a podcast until Tiger Belly.
Oh.
And you showed me Tiger Belly.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was the first podcast, and I was obsessed. I saw like 70 episodes of Tiger Belly, which is like, it's like high energy, but like real.
Yeah, it's really real. He talks about being molested as a kid
and his like physical abuse as a child, sexual and everything. But he's really funny and out there. Oh, yeah. And I just feel like a camaraderie, because it's just like, I'm somebody who's like, I would say that I'm always trying to be funny. Yeah. I'm always trying, and I do love the attention of storytelling. So I'm always telling a story. And I just I loved it. And I was like, man, I can't believe he makes his living doing this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I thought that was so cool. And
yeah, for someone to come.
I'm obsessed with podcasts. Like, Sword and Scale is my crime podcast. I have Endless Honeymoon as my love and relationship podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't even listen to music as much as I did, because I'm like consumed with like.
Do you feel smarter?
I don't feel smarter.
I feel smarter.
I feel less ignorant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because smarter, I'm like, no, I still can't do fractions.
Well, there's different types of intelligence, no?
Yeah, I feel like more like in tune with people. I feel like I'm smarter with people now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For sure. Especially like now that I'm like going through like therapy.
Yeah.
I feel like I had to learn empathy, which some people are just naturally empathetic, and I was, but I always felt like my way was the right way. So that's not like true empathy. And I feel like this year is the first time I'm like actually putting that into my daily life.
Yeah. I think as you get older, you realize, not everybody's the same.
Yes.
There's not that one type of love. There's not that one type of feeling. You know what I mean?
You guys start saying what's up to the people that are coming in.
Hey, what's up? Glad you guys are watching.
April Vaca, Juan Carlos Lopez.
Sup, Juan Carlos? Sup, April?
April saying, I'm happy you have someone you can talk to and that can make you feel better. I guess from the earlier conversation. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So.
Have you like done therapy?
No.
I know you've told me that you do like suffer from like depression and anxiety. I would say your anxiety, I see more physical on you. But like, I don't know if you're open to talking about like if you've ever been on meds or anything like that before.
No. When I was a kid, I did have a learning disability. But the more I put it together as an adult, I think is more because of the stuff I went through growing up. I think the whole trauma I went through kind of gave me a learning disability.
Okay. It stunted you, like,
yeah, it
learning
stunted
educationally because you were like so
yeah, it took me
traumatized?
forever to read.
Yeah.
I think it took me until middle school to really comprehend reading.
Yeah.
But I had gone to therapy with a counselor when I was in elementary, but nothing really extended from there. I remember I would go see a real therapist when I was a kid, and I told him everything. I guess a parent has to, since you're a child, so a parent has to be there. Yeah. So the first time I ever went was with my grandma, and I told him how I felt, and that just, when I got home, I guess they have to tell the parent.
Yeah.
My mom just went crazy. If you're not happy here, leave. Like, she was telling me to pack up my stuff, to get out of the house.
And you were a child?
I was maybe 9, 10.
And like, where were you? Like, do you feel like it was like empty threats like that to keep you scared, or do you feel like?
I think at that time when you're a kid,
really
you think it's real.
Yeah, but do you really think she would have done it like now as an adult, or do you feel like she used it as a scare tactic?
Scare. She, yeah, everything she did was to scare me.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I got in trouble.
And do you think that like stopped you from ever expressing your feelings ever again?
I think so, because it felt like you explain how you feel, and then right away you get hit. Yeah. So growing up, I was mainly quiet. I was just quiet. Didn't really have anybody to talk to. No one to reassure me what I was going through isn't normal. Mm-hmm. At the time, it just seemed normal.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you don't see other people's way of life, you're just gonna think like all the abuse is regular. Like, oh, like everybody gets smacked in the mouth. Yeah. And it's like, I mean, I was not abused physically for sure by my parents, but my parents did like spank us. And I just was like, I mean, it worked. I mean, I would get hit and I'd stop what I was doing, you know, because you don't want to get hit. Mm-hmm. But when I started dating my husband now, I asked him, like, when we have kids, like, you think you're going to be into spanking? And then he was like, no, I was never spanked ever in my life. I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like, not even a slap in the face, not even nothing.
That's crazy.
Like, he was completely raised without being hit. And he was, like, overall a great, like, he was, like, what you would want in a son. Like, he was intelligent. He got straight A's. He didn't, you know, he wasn't out there, like, I mean, he had fun as a teenager. Yeah, but as far as, like, a kid that you want, like, I would say he was, like, a role model kid.
Really ideal.
Yeah, like, for a parent.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so, like, you could be good and not get hit. So, like, I wonder, like, what type of person are you really without that, like, like that? Oh, if you do something bad, you get hit.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like childhood is 100% the reason who you are as an adult. Mm-hmm. And if you're having trouble in adulthood with relationships or family members or, like, internal struggles, I think in order to me personally, but I'm not a therapist, but this is what I believe. Yeah. You have to go back into your childhood and fix what was broken there so you can be a better adult.
Anthony Lasso, Celeste has always been someone you can have a great discussion with about anything. Whether it was something serious or sarcastic, her mind is vast and full of great opinions.
Exactly. That's why I have her on the podcast.
Thanks, Anthony. He's a good, like, he was a really good friend of mine in middle school.
Oh, yeah?
And I've, like, kept in touch with him, like, here and there, very rarely. But, like, you know, with social media, you kind of feel like you, like, what's up? Mm-hmm. He has a little girl. And,
oh, yeah?
Yeah. He's a really nice guy. And he was, like, one, you know, he kind of, like, now that I think of it, like, kind of was like you in middle school. Where very emotional and very in tune with his emotions. I know you get flack because you're very emotional.
Yeah, I am.
And I think it's only shocking because you're a guy. Like, honestly, that's what it is. Yeah, because, like, the girls, I mean, you know, we talk about emotions. I'm talking about these stuff all the time, but like with men, I think they're like afraid to come.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why I'm kind of too forward, because I'm like down to ask like intense questions.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like there should be boundaries. If you don't feel like answering a question, just say it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel like that should stop me from asking it.
Oh, yeah. I think in my life as an adult or as growing up, the most forward people I ever met were women. I think the most strongest people I ever met were women. I know people are like, why you always have girls on your podcast? Well, it just like growing up, that's who the ones that always told you how I was were women.
Yeah.
So, well, of course, in a podcast, you would want somebody to tell you how it was and how they feel. So that's why that's why I wanted you, because you always told it how it was for you, whether it being right or wrong.
Yeah.
But you would say like, oh, it's just my opinion, and which I liked, you know what I mean? You're not trying to force whatever your beliefs were.
I used to be very forceful. I'll admit that with my beliefs. Like, I would just, like, if you were to come to me with a relationship problem and you said something about infidelity, I'd be like, Anthony, don't be an idiot. You have, like, to me, infidelity is like a deal breaker. Now, I understand that it's not always a deal breaker for some people, and that you can actually work through it. The only thing about infidelity is that it's so hard to work through it.
Oh, like, yeah, it's probably a battle.
Yeah, and I would say it probably take years to get over it. And like, you just have to ask yourself, like, am I willing to spend a whole year of healing just because of 15 minutes of what he or she did?
Yeah.
So I mean, you just have to ask yourself the real questions, and I feel like so many people are so scared to ask themselves. Like, they're afraid. I think your worst enemy 100% is yourself.
Oh yeah, I think we all have inner demons, and that's why that's why I wanted to start a podcast, talk to people, and try to test the way I feel. Like, are
you looking for your tribe, kind of? Like, hey, I'm telling you what I feel into this microphone, and you're hoping people will reciprocate that.
No, I hope, I think with anybody I talk to, it's always a learning lesson. And I like talking to people because regardless of the way they grew up or what their opinion is, you automatically take something from it. Like, I learned that not everybody thinks like me, not everybody's religious. Everybody has a different way of moving. And I think as you, as a human being, should take anything you learn and try to mold it to, I guess, to support you and your, like, mentally. You know what I mean? Like, if you talk about relationships and you talk to all these people, of course, there's going to be good and bad lessons within the person you have a conversation with. And I think it's your responsibility to take the good parts of it and then apply it to future relationships you may have.
I think you like hit the nail on the head with that. Like, take what you learn and put it into the future.
Yeah.
I think one thing about, like, I recently started saying, like, anxiety is fear of the future. Depression is I would say depression is the sadness and the shame that you feel of your past. But the only truly way you can be happy is to live in the present.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're taking it day by day, but you make these plans for the future. Yeah. Without freaking out about it, without, having the anxiety, and you take all these lessons, like, it's just living day by day should be easy. It should be a breeze. Yeah. But it's hard for people like us because we don't have normal brains. I would say, like, I always say that depression's like a really selfish condition because I'm constantly thinking about myself all the time. Yeah. And you would think, like, oh, like a narcissist, like, you think about yourself and you think like Kim Kardashian, where she's like, oh, look how beautiful, like, look how rich I am. And I'm thinking only negatively about myself all the time. I'm thinking, oh my God, that guy hates me, or she thinks I'm so ugly, or I'm thinking about everybody else's opinion of me, and I can only think of me. I'm not even seeing the people around me. You just get blinded by this.
Oh, yeah.
And I just got so sick of living like that. I mean, I've had a couple breakdowns. I had one big breakdown 5 years ago where I ended up like in the mental institution for a couple days for suicide watch. And it was the shame that came with that. You know, I was thinking, like, I was in the hospital and I was thinking, oh my God, one day I'm going to have children and they're going to have a mother who's crazy. Like, oh yeah, like I would hate to be like, oh yeah, my mom went to a mental institution. And it, like, I felt so much shame. And all that shame, like, hindered me from being, like, a happy person. And maybe that shame even hindered me from being a mother, you know? And then, like, that's how deep stuff is going on in my head.
Yeah.
Where people just live their life day to day, especially, like, in this time where people are struggling. They don't even have time to think about themselves. And then I feel so guilty that all I do is think about myself.
Yeah, depression is, fuck. It sucks because, like you said, you just think about yourself. You want to be alone, secluded.
Yes.
And
avoidance of everything.
Avoidance, just so you're, how can I say, your fear of the unknown.
Yes.
You know, it sucks. You shouldn't have to.
But if you're so afraid of stuff you don't know about, you'll never live.
Oh, yeah. That's what sucks. I think the reason I've probably been single for so long, it just, I guess because of the previous relationship, kind of, it kept me in fear. And so I think moving forward, it's going to happen again.
When you date now, are you already thinking of how bad it can end?
Yeah, because I guess I overthink, I overexamine.
Uh-huh.
And if they show any slight trait that shows that they don't, how can I say?
It's not like a long haul kind of thing?
Huh?
Like if they don't show commitment to you?
If they don't show they can deal with me in any type of sense, or they want to change me, I know anything I do moving forward is not going to be content with them, and they might as well drop, you know?
That is like an intense thought.
Yeah.
You've probably like ruined some relationships with just that thought, you know?
Yeah.
Being so scared of the end that you didn't even start a beginning.
Yeah. It sucks. But I'm trying to move. I think the whole, with me being alone for so long, I'm learning that I have to not be selfish. I know that whatever person I am going to be with, I know that they're going to come with stuff. And I have to also be considerate of that. Because kind of almost everybody's broken. And luckily I have patience, but it's just like sometimes I want to be like, no, me. You know what I mean?
I mean, you are a Libra.
Yeah.
Hate to bring up the horoscope.
Yeah.
But Libras usually find their soulmate in their 30s. So Libras are usually
almost there.
Yeah. And I think, and you know what? Maybe you had to be 30 to find your actual soulmate because you
to learn my lessons?
Yeah, you learned so much. Like, it took you a long time, but man, by the time you do find someone worthy of your love, I mean, it should be healthy. It'll probably be your first healthy relationship. And even if it ends, it'll probably be the most beautiful one. And I think that's worth it.
Yeah, of course. I guess growing up as a kid, being afraid of, because I didn't really know myself growing up until like I passed 18, and then I left my mom's house, and I was really able to understand, okay, this is what I don't like, this is what I do. Oh, I'm this sensitive. You know what I mean? Yeah. Kind of coming.
So before you were trying to be who your mom wanted you to be, and when you left the house, you were like, oh, this is who I really am.
Yeah. And then it's like you're learning who you are, and they're all like, okay.
Now you got to learn to live with yourself.
Yeah, I have to learn to live with myself. I have to also learn my bad habits, my good habits. And then as I get older, I have to adjust to them. So basically this whole time I've been trying to fix myself mentally.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm not ready. I wasn't ready at that time to be in a relationship because I was barely figuring out who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do hope that, you know, I meet somebody that is able to really take time, give me some time, and I'll give them time so we can
figure it out.
Yeah.
I think that in order to find that someone, communication is key.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people always make fun of me because, like, when I wanted somebody,
yeah,
I'd go out and get them. And I've been rejected before. You know, I told a guy, like, I would fall in love so easily.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and be obsessed because, like you said, I think of everything as a movie. So I'm, like, thinking... Like, when I'm thinking of the ending, I'm thinking the happy ending.
Yeah.
So I'm, like, the opposite of you. Like, I'm not thinking how bad it's going to end. I'm thinking about our happy ending. So I've told guys, like, in high school, like, I like you. Like, do you want to be with me? Yes or no? And they would say no. And I'd cry and I'd get over it. But I didn't waste my time. Like, I never dated people, like, that I felt like I wasted my time with.
Yeah.
With
what's up to lovely Ashley, Ramona Quesada?
That's Asia's sister.
Hey.
Yes. You have a growing audience. Say what's up every now and then.
What's
Oh.
up?
I forget that this is live and, like, people are watching it right now. I'm happy if anyone's even seeing this. This is exciting.
Sorry if it's so serious, but
I know.
these are good.
You're getting hearts. You're getting people. Get up.
We're just, you know, trying to bring light to a dark
situation,
Yeah.
especially during a pandemic.
Oh yeah, I think during this time you're even learning more about yourself. I think I'm okay because
I was reading an article that people with depression and anxiety are actually doing better than people without mental illness because we're so used to seclusion and avoidance. And, like, most of us are introverts, so we're okay with being with ourselves, but a lot of people who are extroverts, my husband is freaking out.
Yeah.
He's like, I need to go to the range, or I just need to go to a friend's house, and I'm, like, trying to keep him like in this, like, little box, and he's like, I can't, like, I'm not. He could go, like, 3 days with seeing people back to back, and I'll see someone for 8 hours, and then see you in 2 weeks.
yeah.
Because I feel like we've said what we need to say. We spent 8 hours together, and I don't need to see you anymore. But that's, it's not fair to people who want to see you every day. I think they just can't.
Yeah, I think that's also what sucks too, because, like, fuck, you get when you with somebody, you feel like you're giving all this energy, and that's it. And it's like you can't develop relationships like that. Lucky if you find somebody that would, like, press it.
I feel kind of bad for, like, what you're saying, because I've never really felt that, because I didn't date in the age of, like, texting, you know what I mean? Like, I've been with Jaime for, like, and I feel bad sometimes because I'm like, love is out there, guys, but I feel like I found love in medieval times. Like, this was before apps, before, like, me and Jaime would talk on the phone for 5 hours every night, and people, and those, like, I didn't even have a full texting plan.
Veronica Davila, she's like, I'm here.
Hey, Veronica.
Hey, Vero. You good, girl? You good?
You surviving?
I know.
No, what were you saying?
Oh, but, like, I mean, I would hate to be, like, on an app or, like, find someone on Instagram and be like, hey, and then they're just like, hey, WYD.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what? Do you even like me? Do you want to talk to me? Because, like, I'm like that. I need,
really?
how you said, I need that instant
instant
connection,
reply. Yeah.
Instant reply. So, like, I mean, I had that with Jaime, and, I mean, we've, like, worked a lot to get where we are today. I mean, like, we've worked a lot, and we've never even dealt, and this is crazy, we never dealt with infidelity in our relationship. We've been together, like, almost 8 years.
Yeah.
And we still work so much. And I tell people that all the time. I'm like, y'all, relationships are hard. Marriage is so hard. And y'all want to add infidelity into that?
Yeah.
Like, man, I'm just trying to, like, coexist with my partner. And you out here giving someone else attention. Like, that's why I find infidelity so hard to get over. because it's so much energy. You got
you have to go sneaking around.
Yes.
Make sure you don't, you say something to that person. Make sure
it's not contradictory to what you said
yeah,
to your
you said
partner.
to other. Yeah. It's
Karina Carvajal is asking if Tinder didn't exist when you were dating.
Tinder didn't exist when I started dating. The only apps I knew about, honestly, was Grindr, which is a gay dating app.
Mm.
Yeah.
But when I was 20 when me and Hyman started dating. I'm 27 now.
Yeah.
Or like, and like if there was Tinder, I didn't know about it for sure. It wasn't until like a year into our relationship that I saw my other single friends on Plenty of Fish.
Mm-hmm.
Tinder was coming up. Grindr was already a thing. You know, so I never went into the like internet to find love. Not to mention, Hyman literally lived a street down from me. Like, my love of my life was like down the street. So
no, for me, like, fuck, I was on MySpace. Then I was on Facebook. Then POF it came into the equation. I think at the point there was Moco Space at the time of like the beginning of Facebook.
What is Moco Space?
Moco Space, man. I think it was like a dating thing. I never really used it.
But it was there for
you.
you.
It was there. I think I probably used anything you could probably think.
Did you ever use Craigslist?
I used Craigslist.
My God.
Let me see who's looking for love.
I have a friend who dipped into the Craigslist thing.
Really?
But
that was interesting for a while.
Yeah, and it was until the Craigslist killer.
Oh, yeah.
That's why people stopped using Craigslist. I mean, they still use it as hooking up, like,
I
but like
haven't used
that's
it
like
since.
shady stuff. Like, if you're on Craigslist, like, prepare to be murdered, 100%.
It was weird that they had like a section in Craigslist where they're like, are you the guy on the bus I said hi to, wearing the blue jeans and white shirt?
They're like I think they're called close
Misconnections.
Misconnections, yes.
Yeah.
I love those.
Yeah, I'm like, did somebody see me? I was in the bathroom at Planet Fitness.
There was a sweaty man in the restroom at Planet Fitness on Mountwood.
I wanted to say hi to you, but I couldn't.
I couldn't because you're perspiring so much. I wasn't able to get to you.
The smell of your tacos were...
They're like, you smell like barbacoa.
Barbacoa is my favorite. No, yeah, I probably used everything. I guess
you're looking for love.
Oh yeah.
You're looking for love. Most Libras are.
Yeah.
They're looking for love.
I think I have weird interactions with trying to pursue love. It's probably something you can't really pursue.
Well, you would say that, but literally.
The movie said, if you go for it, it's gonna happen.
Well, I mean, be prepared for rejection, but, like, I was after Jaime, like, for 3 months.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, flirting here and there, pursuing him actively. And he wasn't, like, giving me any signs because I guess he friend-zoned me. But then,
right away?
Yeah, we had been friends since middle school. I mean, I've known him since 8th grade. And I was in college when I, like had a crush on him. And I, like, was like, okay, I'm going to go for it. But he wasn't giving me any signs, so I was like, okay, well... But then I got drunk on Fireball.
And you confessed your love to him.
Yeah, I was like, no, well, you know what? I knew he liked me.
Oh.
I felt it in my bones. And I told him, why are you pretending? And my sister Lynn can attest to this because she was there. I was like, he came in through the door and I was like, Happy New Year's. And I gave him a little kiss on the cheek pre-COVID. And I told him, why are you acting like you don't like me? Like, I know you have a crush on me. And I was like, drunk as hell, but I was like feeling bold.
Yeah.
And then he was like shocked. He couldn't believe it because I was like old school Mexican, so he couldn't believe that a woman was pursuing him.
Yeah.
And I was just telling him how I felt. I was like, why are you pretending like you don't like me? And he was like, what? And he didn't tell me that time.
Mm-hmm.
But then later on that night, he was like, I do like you. And then we kissed. And we've been together ever since.
That's crazy. I want something like that. I want to go to the bathroom and then a girl walks in like,
like
hey, you know I like you. I like you too, baby.
Yes.
I don't know. You know, it sucks having depression because you kind of hinder yourself from going out there.
Because you don't feel enough.
Mm-mm.
And I want everybody
for
to
the
know
gym.
that it's easy to love you.
Mm-hmm.
Most of you. Not all of you. I'm not easy to love. I am not easy to love. I'm hard to love.
Yeah.
And I would even say that for my family members too. It's hard to love me sometimes because I'm so broken sometimes, and it's really hard to like just keep telling me the same things over and over again, you know? And Jaime Jaime loves me so much.
Yeah.
He really does. Like, and I'm not being conceited about it. He really does. And I truly believe that another
Okay,
human.
somebody loves you.
But
I'm just kidding.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if somebody loves me,
Yeah.
my crazy ass,
Mm-hmm.
I was thrown into like a mental institution for like 3 days.
Yeah.
How is it that your normal ass can't find anyone to
yeah,
love?
yeah.
Like, come on, guys. Like, you guys are just. You know why? I think normal people sell themselves short.
Mm.
April Baca says, I hope you find that Anthony. She
Aw.
wants you to find true love.
April.
I think you're close, Anthony.
And Emmanuel Lozano says, a true gangster on the left.
Oh.
Emmanuel.
You're a gangster?
Emmanuel Lozano or Emmanuel Lozano.
Yeah.
So,
A church buddy of mine.
Oh,
back
yeah?
in the day when I was a good Catholic girl.
hey, gangster. But, I don't know. It feels like everybody I had in my life, like, growing up, my dad was in and out.
Mm-hmm.
My mom,
Loved you conditionally. She didn't have that unconditional love for you. It was like, I'll love you, but you got to be the person I want you to be.
Yeah, kind
And
of.
then once you started being your own person, did you feel like that love was kind of like conditional?
No.
Like, oh, I'm going to take away my love now.
Oh yeah. It seemed if I do whatever she told me to do, of course, I felt some, I guess, false love.
Mm-hmm.
But if I didn't do what she wanted, of course, like fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
And then my stepdad didn't really like. We didn't really like each other. I met him when I was 5, and he would lie that I would do stuff and get me in trouble.
No, your stepdad was a nightmare, an actual nightmare person. From what the stories
Yeah,
you told me, I mean, you lived with the trauma you've been through. It's like, that's the thing. It's like, how is it that you go through so much? How are you supposed to be a normal adult?
Yeah.
And that's where the empathy comes in for me. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, there's no way. Like, of course you're the way you are.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't seen anything else. I mean, your relationships reflect that conditional love. Like, you mostly are with women who love you when you do everything they tell you to do.
Mm-hmm.
And once you want to, like, kind of, like, open up a conversation of something different, they leave. So
Yeah.
you just follow, like, the pattern of your mother. Because you're kind of looking for, like, that mother's love romantically.
Yeah. It sucks. Like, even doing this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pursuing music, pursuing a podcast. There's people that are not. I always find women that can't deal with that. Like, it's, why do you have to put yourself out there? You know why?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the stuff I'm pursuing. There's a lot of people that are not gonna be okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
They're always gonna take it wrong. Well, yeah, why you have to be a center of attention or something like that.
You're like, I have to because I have childhood trauma where nobody paid attention to me, and now all I want is positive attention.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hello?
I just wanna. The reason I make music is to people to like it, and then they fall in love with it, and then it's like they like me. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
and I'm doing this podcast. Hopefully, somebody can connect with me and like me, and I don't know. It's the whole longing for connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. I mean, I think most entertainers do too. I mean, you have to be a certain type of person to put yourself out there.
Oh yeah, it takes a lot, like to put out what you're thinking,
Yeah.
and then have people like, oh, okay,
Because your thoughts are sacred.
yeah,
You know, like
only I hear them.
Exactly. And then you say them out loud, and then other people are like, what the hell? Or they're like, hey, you have a point. And it feels so good when they're like, hey, you have a point. You're like, oh, I'm not a psychopath.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I'm normal.
Yeah. And we're just like longing for that. Like, but I'm ready to love myself for who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I know as long as I keep working on myself and I feel good about myself, my relationships around me are going to feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen like such an improvement. You know, it's funny because like I told my dad I was going to do this podcast.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you going to talk about? And I was like, mental health. And he's like, oh. And then I was like, because it hurts him. It hurts him knowing that I live in this constant, you know, depression and anxiety because I'm his daughter.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I wasn't even hurt. I didn't feel like he wasn't like loving me because he said he was going to watch it.
You don't want you hear your child say they're going through something and you're not able to help.
Yeah, but you know what? My dad has been like the past, after I got out of the hospital, it was a wake up call to him and to everybody around me, like how serious it got. And he's been so helpful. Like, so, like, he does what he can. And I'm not saying he's, like, cured my depression or anything, not even close. But just the fact that he Googles.
Oh, like, yeah?
Yeah, he'll Google, like...
Anxiety? What the fuck is that?
Yeah. And that just means something. My husband has a mental illness. And when he was going through something, my dad Googled it.
Oh.
To see, like... And he was like, I read that this type of food is good for this. Like, it helps you. And I'm like, that's all you want. You know what I mean? Like, he's just telling
somebody
me,
to sympathize.
Yeah, he's all like, honey roasted peanuts is good for this. Try this. And I'm like, thanks. Like, just the fact that you Googled it and you just try to understand
that means so much. I think, Damian, those people, there's people that say, if you see somebody suffering, say something. Try to talk to them.
Yeah.
It's true. Like, you don't understand how much reaching out to that person can affect them. Someone that's on the brink of maybe, suicide.
Yeah.
Just you going out there and saying, hey, you're okay? Do you need anything?
Yeah.
It can twist their fate.
Mm-hmm. It can, for sure. I mean, I didn't have that, unfortunately, because I was so good at hiding it. And also, like, people are going through their own stuff, too. Sometimes they don't even see the red flags. And it's not on them to see the red flags either, because you're in charge of your own body. And unfortunately, you're in charge of your mental health, too, which is so hard when you're so out of control. And you're so out of control with your feelings, and then you're in control of, like, not killing yourself. Like, that's a weird dynamic, but it is. Like, that's your responsibility.
Yeah.
Richard Gonzalez says, Celeste needs to chug half of that wine bottle.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Richard Gonzalez, there's Katie Cakes.
Her wine is...
April Baca, you should find someone who enjoys what you want, your dreams and goals.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who wants to pursue and learn with you. And you deserve happiness, and people who don't see that, you don't need.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a long comment. Sorry, guys. April, say what's up to April Baca. She's listening.
No, thank you for the kind words. Yeah.
And Richie's my homie. He's a Libra, too.
Oh, yeah?
He's
Libra gang.
Yeah, I know a lot of Libras.
Yeah, it's crazy how you attract Libras. I think because...
they like the truth.
Yeah, you tell the truth.
And they appreciate that.
You tell it in a manner that's entertaining.
Maybe if you want people to listen, maybe you need to kind of like talk to people the way they listen.
Mm-hmm.
I can say the same message over and over again.
Yeah.
But the way I say it to different people can come across. I can get the same message out to a bunch of people, but in different ways.
Oh, Ramona says that he's a Scorpio.
Scorpios are scary.
I mean, Scorpios are actually really great friends.
Oh, really?
I'm a Scorpio.
Oh, yeah?
Well, like a rising sun, whatever.
Scorpio.
Yeah, I think
Scorpios, they do have jealousy problems. That's inherent. And they can be chaotic, but they get a really bad rap, but they're really great friends. They're really good family members.
Yeah, they're very loyal.
Yes,
but
so loyal.
If you upset them, then the whole...
The pettiness level is at 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And they can hurt you. They'll, like, if you hurt a Scorpio, they're going to hurt you 10 times more than you hurt them.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel even. So, like, there's no justice. Like, that's why the Libra is the scales, because...
My mom's a Scorpio.
Yeah, they're going to hurt you. My abuelita's a Scorpio, too, to the T.
But I'm an Aquarius. That's my main one.
Oh, really?
So that balances me up.
Yeah, that could balance you out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an Aquarius as well. I'm very Aquarius. Very sensitive.
Mm.
To my soul, I am so sensitive. Jaime says something in the wrong tone, I'm on the verge of tears. I've literally, he's told me, like, on a drunken night, no to a quesadilla. Like, I'm like, please get me a quesadilla from Taco Bell.
No.
And he's like, no, it's 3 a.m. I'm not going to go. And I was like, I've literally looked him in the eyes and been like, you don't love me. It's so small. A quesadilla is nothing. I love you with all my heart, and you're not going to get me one? I'm like dead serious, crying on the bed. I feel like so rejected because he doesn't get me a quesadilla.
Quesadilla?
Yeah.
I think that's why I need to learn.
What, sensitivity?
I guess being sensitive towards other. I guess
You are quite sensitive, and you don't like criticism. I think you're working on the critical criticism.
Mm-hmm.
But in the beginning, like, especially with your music.
Oh, yeah, I get offended.
Oh, yeah, if I was, like, if anybody said, like, oh, what if you try to make it faster? You're like, well, that's not the song. The song is not fast. If it was fast, it would be fast. I'm like, okay, so we're not open to ideas.
Yeah.
Great.
It's just like...
But it's your baby. I get it. I get where you're coming from. But, I mean, constructive
criticism
is important.
Yeah. I think in my head, it's like, nothing's perfect. Mm-hmm. Why are you expecting... perfectness for me? But yeah, I hate when like some artists are like, well, at this part it could have been mixed or mastered right, and I'm like, fuck you and fuck you and fuck you. Who are you? Nah, it just like, did you enjoy it? Did you vibe with it? If so, then you know. And
just because you put something out there doesn't technically mean that you're asking for feedback.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you put something out there the way it is.
Better shut your mouth. Just kidding.
You know, some people like, but you're the type of person you're putting it out there the way it is, and you really don't want to hear anything negative about it.
Like, I could take criticism when it comes to me, because I can adjust real quick, and it doesn't cost me money. But if it's a song I put money into that's done, I can't go back. Why tell me? It's there. If you vibe with it, if you don't, I don't know. It's...
I was vibing with that song where you're like, in a world
where... Well,
something about like a pretty boy loves a pretty girl. What's that song called? Is it Misery?
No, I think it's... No.
What If?
What If?
That's what it's called. I was vibing with What If. I like the theatrics, though.
Thank you. I always wanted to do something with my voice, and it felt like a movie, so I was like, in a world where a girl breaks a boy's heart, there's always the thought of what if. Something like that.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I like that was song. An artist told me to make like a bedroom pop song, and that was my first go at it.
I like your sad boy vibes.
Yeah, that's good. I think it's harder.
I mean, like, Happier is a good song. It's more upbeat, but like,
I think within Happier, there's some stuff in there.
I see more of you in your sad songs than I do in your.
Oh yeah.
You're more like party songs.
I feel it's natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can go like deep into, and sometimes I don't even think it's sad. And then when I show it to somebody, like, damn, it's pretty sad. Like, really? I thought it was like pretty honest.
Ramon Arqueza says you should be a voice actor, PapaBear.
Oh, thank you. That's why I try to do my podcast.
And
what?
Every now and then look at the camera.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm like
It's okay.
talking.
Well, she has proper.
Yeah. She sounds awesome, but.
Yeah, show your assets to the people.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There you go, guys.
No, what's it called? Yeah, always been told growing that I should be a voice actor or
It's like a dream of mine
or radio.
to be a cartoon.
Oh yeah, what
Oh,
would be
yeah.
your cartoon voice?
I have no idea. I've never tried because
You never tried. How you have this dream and you never tried?
I know because I'm afraid of failing.
Why? Just do it.
Yeah.
You guys have 10 minutes. Do a cartoon voice that you like.
I have no idea. I really like the Steven Universe voices, but they're like really like, "Hey guys, we're gonna go fight."
Hey guys, we're gonna go fight claims out there. Like that.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna go look for it in the ditch for a dead body.
I want to be a voice actor, but I don't want to change my voice.
You just want to use your normal voice.
Yeah, I'm just like, hey, I'm a crystal gem, guys. What's up?
Hey guys.
Anybody know some TikTok dances?
No,
I love cartoons.
I love messing with my voice. I love cartoons too.
Yeah, you were always doing like voice.
Like, hey there, partner. We're gonna go here and eat at Arby's, and we're gonna get us a gyro. You know what I'm saying? Or
I'm tone deaf.
Oh, what do you mean?
Like, I can't keep a tone. Like, I'll sing a song, and you don't know what song I'm singing because I can't keep the tone. So I'm really bad at impressions because in my head it sounds like the way I think it does, and it tells me I'm not good at impressions.
Really? So when I was younger, I would be trying to talk to these girls, and I would sing to them. So what I would do is put 2 phones on my ear so I can hear myself, and then I can actually like know where my voice is at, so I can sing it good. So I'll be like a song I would sing in middle school to girls would be Superman.
Yeah, you told me.
Fuck, how does it go? Do you remember the song?
No, I have no idea.
Superman.
You showed it to me, but it was like a gangster song, and I didn't really.
It's like a cholo song kind of deal. I can be your Superman. Fuck.
I can be your Superman.
No, that's the Eminem one. No, this one's like, I can be your Superman. The day of my death to my very last breath. So I would do that.
So like 8th grade Anthony singing Superman.
You see 2 phones with me on the house. Ooh, baby, I like you. So I kind of knew what I can do with my voice just because.
That takes courage to sing to someone through the phone.
Oh man, I was looking for love. You know what I'm saying?
Kiss me through the phone. Should we take some questions from the audience, I guess?
Yeah, if anybody has questions.
These last 10 minutes.
Today. People are just listening to you.
Oh, okay. Thanks for vibing with us. Thanks for being here.
Yeah,
Anthony Lasso, he says that he's deaf as hell, which is the worst thing to happen to someone in the family of singers and musicians.
Oh man, that sucks.
So yeah, you guys have some steady viewers.
No, thank you for watching us.
we talked a lot.
It's already been an hour. That's crazy.
I know, it went really fast. I thought we were at 30 minutes.
Okay. Last time you said I had like.
6. Well, it's this,
You ended like 10 minutes early.
Okay, Ramona is asking, what's your favorite cartoon growing up?
My favorite cartoon growing up. That's hard. Who did I had different cartoons. What was yours?
I mean, like, I know that for like 3 birthdays, not a cartoon, but a kid's show, I was obsessed with Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
3 consecutive birthdays.
Kimberly was my girlfriend.
The first Power Rangers, so
Mighty
like,
Morphin.
Yeah, the Mighty Morphin. Actually, for my senior year, you know how they, like, your senior year, you have like a theme. No. I suggested that we would be the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
That's not bad.
Class of 2011.
Cool. Yeah,
and then I even said, like, we could sell t-shirts in different colors with the El Dorado sign, because I went to El Dorado High School. So you have El Dorado, and then you get to pick the color Power Ranger. I'm like, you guys would have made so much money off this idea.
True.
And no, I also suggested that we have 3 Little Birds by Bob Marley as our senior song.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Bob Marley's good. I saw the Wailers a couple years ago. Obviously, Bob Marley's passed, but it's like one of the nephews of Bob Marley who is the singer now. Mm-hmm. And it's really good.
Jordan Carvajal is asking, is cereal soup, and why or why not?
Cereal is not soup. Because soup has a broth base or some type of creamy base, and milk isn't a base.
That's true.
I mean, milk is a base for the cereal, but not a soup consistency.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
That's a hard question.
You really, like, it's even, like, you're even thinking cereal
No. Like, soup is like heat up.
I mean, there's cold soups and mostly warm soups, but
Who drinks a cold soup? That's gross.
yeah, that's kind of gross.
Yeah.
I'm down for a warm soup.
No,
All the
cereal is a
And I
meal.
love
You can
soup.
have it at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know what I'm saying? You could live off cereal. No, I don't really recommend it, but
I mean, you could.
yeah,
Yeah, like
just buy different
there's this diet,
Veggios
and
and
you only eat 3 bowls of soup a day, and you're supposed to lose a bunch of weight.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Jordan Carvajal has one more question. He says, what kind of secret society would you like to start?
Ooh, a
Oh.
secret society.
I would hate that.
I want to start.
I'm so bad at keeping secrets. I'm such a bad liar. I would hate it.
I don't know. A secret society? I want to start. You know what? In high school, there was a girl I knew, Ashley. She started this whole club. Like, she wanted everybody to be a vampire. I was like hanging with the emo kids, and they're like,
I love that.
she's like, I'm the main vampire. And then she would bite whoever would join.
This is a true story, you swear to God.
I swear to God.
When I
What
was
high
in
school? Why-
Coronado? Oh, it was different because when I was at Andrews High School, it was a bunch of gangs. You didn't know if you're going to get beat up or not. Then when I transferred
do
to
something
Coronado.
different. Don't join a gang, join a vampire nest.
Yeah, so I went to Coronado and joined the vampire society.
Did you actually join it?
I
Honestly.
wanted to, but nobody invited me. I want to be a brown vampire.
When I was in the 7th grade,
Mm-hmm.
and this is so embarrassing, and I won't say my name of my best friend, but my best friend at the time,
Oh,
had
Karina
seen the-
Carvajal says that you're an emo kid.
I was an emo kid.
I
And this
was
is
an
where
emo
this
kid
is
too.
going. We saw The Craft, and it took over our lives. Like, I'm very impressionable. When I was younger, I was so impressionable. I was like looking for identity.
Yeah.
And we saw The Craft, and we literally like almost like started a coven. Like, my friend even bought like a black and a white candle so we could do seances. But I was so Catholic back then. I was so scared of doing like witchcraft. I was like, I'm gonna go to hell. But I wanted to be a witch so bad because I wanted to be the craft so bad. So, I mean, we never actually did like a thing, but we almost started a coven.
Yeah.
And he actually did a spell. And I swear to God, it worked. But I didn't do a spell because I didn't want to go to hell. Now I'm down for spells.
Hell yeah, I'll do a spell right now.
I'm down. I'm down for Wiccan.
I think I've always been open-minded, so when this hot chick was like, hey, I want to start a vampire again.
You're like, bite me, please.
Fuck yeah, bite me, girl.
Hey, Anthony Lasso has one question. He says, hopefully you have time. If you could go back and tell your teenage self one piece of advice, what would it be?
You go first, Anthony.
I would tell him, you're not what they say you are. You're not. My mom would always tell me, you're retarded, you're gay, you're a fat ass, you're all this. And my stepdad told me, you're never gonna be anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely tell him, you are somebody. You're gonna do great things, and not a whole lot of people, but a good chunk of people are gonna love you.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the
tell him that.
people who matter.
And then you're gonna have a beautiful son that loves
Yeah.
you unconditionally.
And you know what? You love him unconditionally, too.
Yeah.
Which is important. You're giving him something you never had. You never had unconditional love, and you're giving it to him. And I
Yeah.
think that's really beautiful.
Yeah.
It's hard to give something that you've never had.
Yeah, I think I of course, yeah, I did. I love him with all my heart, and I wouldn't. You know how like they say like, there's people that continue the trend, and then there's people that break the trend. I wanted to break it. I was not gonna treat my son the way I was growing up. So, that's what I've been doing. I've been showing him nothing but love, trying to help him, and just doing whatever what wasn't done for me when I was a kid? What would you tell yourself?
Myself, I think, that I was beautiful. Like, honestly, like, I really did not feel beautiful. And I would tell her, like, you're beautiful, you're enough. Like, why do you hate yourself so much? And I would also tell her, like, you're not alone, because I do feel like I've had depression. I mean, I didn't get diagnosed until like 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. When I went into my crisis, but I knew I was dealing with something, and I've known this since I was 8 years old. Like, I've known something. There's like a darkness inside of me, and I would tell her, like, you're beautiful, and you're not alone, and you're gonna make it through it. Because I felt growing up so much shame and so much ugliness. Yeah. With, I mean, not just my depression, but my other traumas too. But
now you're killing it. Now you're slaying it. That's awesome.
Ellen Carvajal.
Oh, Eileen, that's my sister.
She says for you to tell your teenage self to start a coven.
To start a coven? I would tell her to fucking rule the world. You're a badass bitch.
Yeah. Thanks, hon.
You guys want to wrap it up and tell people how to find you, and if they want you back together, because it was very interesting.
Okay.
If you guys want to have more real talks like this, let us know in the comments below. I really enjoy talking to her because it gets real. The last podcast, it was just like, you love me. You love me so much. You're going to buy me a house.
It was way different energies. But, I mean, like, I loved the last podcast. I was laughing. I was dying. I called all my friends, and I was like, you need to see this podcast. Like, it's insane. And then when you asked me to be I was so nervous because I was like, I am not Asia. I mean, she's an Aries queen. She is. Like, she's living her life. She loves attention, and she deserves attention. Because she is a force to be reckoned with. But I was like, I can't live up to that energy. I mean, maybe one day we could get blacked out drunk together.
It'll be interesting. But I really enjoyed this. Just so you know, I'm not in love with Asia. just so you know. Follow me on Instagram, Mr. Mr.PapaBear on Instagram. Or you can follow me on Spotify, YouTube, under PapaBear. I have very good music, and if you want to buy some merch, I got it on the posts before this one. And if you want to follow Celeste, where can they find you?
Probably mostly Instagram at simply_Celeste.
Don't send her dick pics. So.
Oh, please don't. That's so disgusting.
She's like, I don't want to do this podcast if guys are gonna be sending me dick pics. I was like, no,
I'm a married woman.
I don't think.
I used to be a Catholic woman. Don't do it. I am.
She's
not.
very religious. Don't do it.
Not anymore, but I just don't want that.
So the last words by Jordan Carvajal. Words are spells, we are spelling. Never use the words against yourself. We're all powerful creators. Use the word in direction of truth and love for yourself. The results will be beautiful, extraordinary life. That's why I like the rawness in your art. Keep up the good work. Everything is energy.
Oh, thank you.
Very nice.
To wrap it up, guys.
That was very nice.
Okay.
Thank you. I love you. If you guys want her to come back and have real conversations, let us know. This is Midnight Pouridge. In a world where no one stands alone. Celeste, Anthony.
Cheers.
Good night. Peace.